One morning a man woke up and started getting ready for work. Whilst he was brushing his teeth, he looked in the mirror and noticed a splitting image of himself walking past the hallway. The man was shocked, but when he searched the house he found no one. Later on at work, the man was in his office. He heard a knocking on the door. "Come in," he said. Once again it was the same look-alike. He was a splitting image of him, but his eyes were dark. The strange look-alike then reached in the penholder and the man started doing the same. He was terrified. After all, he suddenly had no control of his movements, like he was copying the look-alike. The look-alike then took up a pen and started stabbing itself in the neck. The man did the same, stabbing himself in the neck viciously, leaving him in a pool of his own blood. His secretary knocked on his door several times, and when she got no reply she opened the door. There she made the horrific discovery of her boss laying lifeless in a pool of his own blood. When police reached on the scene, they ruled it out as suicide as he had the pen in his hand. The following night the secretary was home washing up. In a split second she saw someone that looked exactly like her stand next to her fridge before it disappeared. The secretary was horrified. She's not crazy. She knew what she saw. That same night she had a terrible nightmare where she saw an exact image of herself jumping of a building. The next morning whilst leaving home she was horrified to see an exact look-alike of herself standing in the hallway of her apartment. It then started making its way to the stairs that leads to the roof of the apartment. The secretary looked in horror as she too started walking up those stairs, powerless to stop herself. When the look-alike reached the top it walked right off the roof, and so did the secretary, falling to her death. The priest that conducted the secretary's funeral is a close family friend. He's known her for years. He couldn't understand how someone he knew to be so joyful suddenly turned to suicide. He found it more puzzling that it was after the reported suicide of her employer. The priest sat with her family after the funeral at their home. They were looking at her old photo album, and that is when the priest noticed something terrifying. In each picture the secretary's eyes were dark. It was as if he alone noticed it. And in the corner of his eyes he noticed a man with dark eyes that looked exactly like him was standing next to him, staring him down. And just like that it vanished. The priest quickly realized it was no suicide. It was possession. The priest knew his evil look-alike would come back for him, so he prepared. When he did confront his look-alike he was ready. He was able to use his faith to protect himself, and tried as it may could not control him. Unlike the secretary and her employer, the priest survived. But at the same time a member of the church was present during the whole thing. That person saw his own look-alike and hanged himself.